enforced by the police. And remember I told you before that when something is enforced, that means there is someone who is making it or is making you do it. So if Ms. Hires, if I say Ms. Hires is enforcing the class rules, and she's making you go by the rules. Mr. Moorhead is a policeman. He helps to enforce our laws, so he makes sure that we do what we're supposed to do. A rule is something that is regulated or enforced by officials in a certain area or group. Ms. Hires and Ms. Powell, Ms. Steele, the other officials here at the school, those are all examples of people who can enforce school rules. If you get in trouble in class and Ms. Hires sends you to the principal, can she enforce the rules? Yes, because she's the one who's in authority. Ms. Hires and Ms. Powell enforce the rules in the classroom. We help to make you behave and stay on track and do what you're supposed to do. An example here, if you are supposed to ask before you sharpen your pencil, but you don't, do you think the police are going to come take you to jail because you don't ask to sharpen your pencil?
No.
No. Maybe the teacher might say something to you because that's the teacher who enforces the rule. So if the police do not enforce it, or if the police or someone in authority like that are not the ones who tell you how to do it or make sure that you do it, then you know it's a rule. If you go to a store, let's say you decide to go to Walmart, and you see a nice new toy that you want to get, but you don't want to pay for it, if you just take it and you don't pay for it, that's called stealing. Can Ms. Hires do anything about that?
No.
No. That is when that will be a law, because the police could punish you for stealing. So, what I want you to think about to know the difference, if the police have to be involved, then it's a law. If not, or if the police or someone in authority like that has to be involved, it's a law. If not, if someone like Ms. Hires or your parents or Ms. Steele, then it would be a rule. Ms. Hires and Ms. Powell don't make the laws. So let's see if we can figure out which of these belong with the rules and which belong with the laws. I'll call a name. I'll read the first one. I'll call a name, and then you tell me which side it goes on. So let's do not steal is our first one. Let's see if you can tell me where that goes. Do not steal. Does it go on the rule side or the law side, Imani? Would it be a rule or a law for do not steal? Do you think the police or Ms. Hires would enforce the do not steal? Remember the example I just gave you? If you steal something from a store, are you going to get in trouble with the police, or are you going to get in trouble with Ms. Hires? The police. So if you get in trouble with the police, it would be a rule or a law? Would it be a rule or a law if you get in trouble with the police? That's right, Shamira. Would it be a rule or a law? A rule? We said a rule, remember, that's what Ms. Hires can do something about it. Rule or a law, Naomi? It would be a law. So this is an example of a law, to do not steal. Watch out. The next one is to wear your seatbelt. You're supposed to wear your seatbelt when you're riding in the car, because that keeps you safe. So let's see. Does wear your seatbelt, is that a rule or is that a law? Olivia? No. How could that be a rule? Let's think. Have you ever heard about someone getting a ticket for not wearing their seatbelt? So if you get a ticket from the police, would it be a rule or a law? It would be a law. So wearing your seatbelt would be a law. All right, the next one says listen to the teacher. If I want you to listen to the teacher, think about, will the police get you? Will they take you to jail if you don't listen to the teacher? Think to yourself. Olivia again. Would listening to the teacher be an example of a rule or a law? That would be a rule. Good job. Olivia, why is that a rule and not a law? Olivia, why is that a rule and not a law?
Because the police won't get you if you don't listen.
The police aren't going to come take you to jail just because you don't listen to Ms. Hires or Ms. Powell. All right. driving along and then you see a stop sign at the end of the road, you have to stop. Of course, you don't want to run through the stop sign. You could hurt someone or somebody could hit you. So stopping at a stop sign, is that an example of a rule or a law? Dwayne?
A law.
It is a law. Why would that be a law, Dwayne?
Because you only have to stop when the car coming.
That's right. And what would happen if you were in a stop sign? Who could you get in trouble with? If you get in trouble with the police. This next one says to raise your hand before talking. Is that an example of a rule or a law? Is that an example of a rule or a law? Brianna? That is an example of a rule. Do we ask you to do that in here?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We do ask you to raise your hand before talking in here. So that would be a rule because Miss Hires or Miss Cowell could be the one who enforce it. The next one says, do not drive without a license. Whenever you get old enough, you'll get what we call a driver's license, and you're supposed to have that before you drive. If you don't, you could get in trouble with the police. So think to yourself, if you get in trouble with the police, that means it is a what, Imani? Is it a rule or a law? Is it a rule or a law if you can get in trouble with the police? It's a law. You don't drive without a license. Well, we got to kind of go over the middle a little bit, but all right. Play on the playground equipment the proper way. We've talked to you a bunch here about making sure that we behave like we're supposed to on the playground and we play politely and we play nicely with each other. So if you're playing out on the playground equipment in the proper way, you are following a rule or are you following a law, Riddick? That's a rule. How do you know that's a rule, Riddick? How do you know that's a rule, Riddick? The teacher's going to tell you what to do. All right, just two more. This one says go the speed limit. Now, I've already given you this example a bunch. India, go the speed limit. Is that a rule or a law?
A law.
That's a law. How do you know that? Who can you get in trouble with if you go over the speed limit? The police. All right, the last one says do not litter. Do not litter. Now this, I've told you before, I don't want to see you throwing your trash on the ground. And if you throw trash on the ground, maybe like you're riding down the road and you have a piece of trash and you throw it out the window, that's what we call littering. Or dropping your trash on the ground and not picking it back up, that's littering. So do not litter. Is that a rule or is that a law, Brian? Think to yourself, is that a rule or is that a law? This one might be a little tricky.
Oh, I know which one.
You want to take a guess? So Brian says rule. So let me explain this one to you. I do tell you that I want to see your trash picked up, and I don't want to see your trash on the floor or in the lunchroom. I want you to pick your trash up and throw it away. But this is actually a law, because it is against the law to litter. You could get a ticket from the police if you litter or throw trash out when you're not supposed to, because they want all trash to go where it's supposed to go. So that's actually an example of a law. Good job, guys. So now that we have a good understanding of what makes the rules and the laws, I would like you to go back to your desk, and we're going to write about it, not yet. You're going to write your own rule, and you're going to write your own law in